Philip Turle from our International Affairs Desk is with me here on set now. Philip, what were your main takeaways, if you like, from this speech?
Well, just getting started was one of them, which after this whirlwind that we've all been through over the past 6 weeks with Donald Trump, makes one wonder whether this is not going to continue for quite a while to come, and if so, for how long? That's a question that no one can answer, and probably not even Donald Trump right now. You have to remember that Donald Trump is doing what he wants. This is a demonstration of the things that he wants to do, and he is making it pretty clear that everyone in the United States is going to have to take that on board, whether they like it or not. Now, there were some takeaways, a lot of chastising, criticizing the former president, Joe Biden, describing him as the worst president of the United States, the worst president the country has ever known. A lot of criticism of Democrats saying that whatever Donald Trump tries to do, they are not happy. We saw a beginning of a rebuffal by the Democrats here with these little signs being held up saying liar or Musk steals, in reference to Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency, which is cutting back on many civil service jobs. A criticism that Donald Trump didn't refer to Medicare, saying that Medicare needs to be saved and that veterans needed to be protected. But it was a speech, not really a rallying speech for the whole of the United States. A lot of criticism about, as I said, the Democrats, the policies that Donald Trump wants to put forward. He wants to get rid of wokeism. He says it will be a good thing for the United States to do away with LGBT subsidies for the United States as well, a very nationalist agenda. So nothing new, really, factually in all of this. And form-wise, very determined Donald Trump, who was speaking for an hour and 40 minutes, of course, the longest speech of any US president in front of Congress.
Stay with us, Philip. We're going to talk specifically now about Ukraine. Donald Trump telling Congress he's actually received a letter from Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky saying he is ready to negotiate and sign the minerals deal. Let's listen to what he said exactly.
Earlier today, I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine. The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time that is convenient for you.
Well, let's get some reaction to that from Kyiv. We're going to talk to our correspondent, Emmanuelle Chaze, who joins us from there. Emmanuelle, the letter from Zelensky seems to have been received positively, at least in Washington, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Well, we've got no confirmation on the Kyiv side that that letter was sent, but what it says, it actually is the same as what Volodymyr Zelensky was publishing last night on his social media, on the X platform owned by Elon Musk. So indeed, the Ukrainian president, he was trying to mend his relationship with America, well, with the White House. More specifically, he said that what happened in the Oval Office on Friday was regrettable. He didn't say he was sorry for what happened, but that this was regrettable. And he also reiterated the fact that Ukraine was ready, just as Ukraine was ready on Friday already, to sign the deal on the exploitation of its rare earth material. In that, he hasn't really changed Ukraine's stance on it, but he's repeating the willingness of Ukraine to have these deals signed, and also he's showing readiness, just as he had done before being kicked out of the Oval Office by Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, that Ukraine is ready to talk to Donald Trump, and that Ukraine is ready for peace. He repeated that Ukraine would very much like to live at peace, but it's not possible at the moment, since the belligerent party, Russia, the aggressor of Ukraine, keeps on bombing the country every day and every night.
Philip, might this at least put the rift, if you like, between Trump and Zelensky behind us?
I think this is a step in the right direction in trying to heal that rift. This is what Donald Trump wants. Donald Trump basically wants Volodymyr Zelensky to come back and say, I'm terribly sorry for what happened in the White House on Friday. Of course, we will do whatever you want concerning your peace deal that you will work out with Russia. The big question here, Stuart, is that we don't know so far what Russia thinks about all of this and what Russia is willing to do. There's been no negotiation between Donald Trump and Russia. We had no communique from Russia. What we do know is that Russia is against any form of peacekeeping organization, troops being sent to Ukraine. That for Russia is a no-go. They are equating that with NATO forces being sent to Ukraine. That's something they've always said they're not willing to put up with. So where does that leave the security guarantees that Volodymyr Zelensky wants so badly? And how will Donald Trump get round all of that? Okay, we've got the two men maybe going back to sign the deal on the mineral deal, but on the long-term peace prospect, we're not really any closer to getting towards that. And I don't think we've got any further detail about what an eventual peace plan, ceasefire deal will actually look like. So yes, Volodymyr Zelensky has sent a letter. He didn't really have a choice because his back is up against the wall following that altercation in the White House on Friday. What will the response be from the White House? I think that's what they wanted. That's the message which seems to be coming from President Trump. But what does that entail as far as the details go? That we don't know yet.
And finally, Emmanuelle, I mean, it's been a whirlwind of news, really, this last few weeks over the situation in Ukraine. Inevitably, of course, Ukrainians are exhausted by the war, also perhaps exhausted by the news cycle as a whole.
They definitely are, and also Ukrainians have been busy trying to survive over the past 3 years, if not 11 years, that this war has lasted. So on top of that, seeing one of their closest allies, the US, turning essentially their back on them and siding with Moscow, because the vocabulary employed by Donald Trump is actually aligning with that of the Kremlin. And the Kremlin itself said yesterday that US policies aligned with Moscow's policies when it comes to Ukraine. So, of course, Ukrainians, it was a very hard week, a very hard weekend for Ukrainians. There's a lot of, interrogation, fear when it comes to US aid, military equipment being sent to Ukraine, namely for two reasons. What will that mean on the front line for soldiers who managed to hold their position and to keep the Russian army from advancing rapidly in the eastern part of the country? Where does that leave them if they don't get American ammunition? Will they get enough support from the EU partners? This is what Ukrainians are asking themselves. And even here in Kyiv, just like everywhere else in the country, there's also a huge question mark on air defense. Will air defense be strong enough to secure, to intercept kamikaze drones or missiles that Russia will keep on sending if there is no truce? Yesterday evening, Volodymyr Zelensky said in his nightly address that the Ukraine we're looking at today is not the Ukraine of 2022, that it has built algorithms of resilience, but Ukrainians are asking themselves if that will be sufficient to prevent further destruction of cities and also to protect their lives.
Emmanuelle, thanks very much. Emmanuelle Chaze, our correspondent, joining us from Kyiv, and here in the studio, our international affairs editor, Philip Turle. Thanks very much. Now, as Donald Trump slapped